Well, let's get back to the breaking news now that Donald Trump says a framework deal has been reached over Greenland, which will have economic consequences and an impact on our markets. Today, joining us on this is the Chief Investment Officer at the Motley, Scott Phillips. Good to see you this morning. So what will the effects be?
Pete, good morning. It is anybody's guess. We saw the US market down 2% night before last night up 1.3%. This is the volatility and the uncertainty of Donald Trump. The market already jumped on his Davos speech directly. That's before the footage you've been showing subsequently of him saying a deal had been done. So it jumped on the fact he said they wouldn't use force to take Greenland. That was worth a 1.3% jump when that statement was made. Subsequently now, market closed. So we'll see what happens when it comes to our market here today. I suspect it's probably good news overall if the deal is actually done. I will say we know the announcement versus the reality from Donald Trump can be quite broad, quite distant. What I think the markets will love is the fact there is no likelihood of force. And if there's no deal, there's no deal. We are where we are. If there is a good deal, it works for America and/or Greenland and/or the world. That's actually a positive. So we've gone from this could spiral out of control to somewhere probably between neutral and positive. The overlaying one, of course, on top of all that is who knows what comes next. And so the markets really are taking most of this largely in their stride. I mean, that 2% fall was pretty big. Before that, we're not seeing the sort of responses to Trump's announcements or lack thereof, unwillingness to confirm or rule anything out, just because we know how much he changes his mind, how the announcements tend to change. So very hard to take anything directly from it, but got to be good news. If there is either no deal or a positive deal, that's good. Maybe the details are negative, but we shouldn't rule that out. But yeah, much better than the risk of force or an ongoing trade tariff war.
Yeah, look, I mean, and as we know, when it comes to Donald Trump, often he makes announcements and the details do come later. I mean, we've seen this so many times before. But he did point out security in minerals. So it's a long-term deal that's going to be good for everybody who are concerned. And I guess I'm asking about rare earths because, as we know, China's got 90% of the world's rare earths. Greenland's got a stack of it that's untapped. I mean, wouldn't be a bad business move or investment move to be caught up in rare earths at the moment, it seems, Scott.
No, it's doing very well, particularly with the geopolitics here, because we know China has withdrawn supply or restricted supply of some of those rare earths to the rest of the world, particularly to the United States. And that's kind of where this is bubbling away under the surface. And you're right, we don't yet know what the deal is. The US wants Greenland ostensibly for security, they say, also for those minerals, as you mentioned. Now, I don't know what the environmental concerns are in Greenland and what likelihood there is of getting them out of the ground. But yes, if this deal does include some degree of the so-called Golden Dome defence, maybe there's a stationing of troops or weaponry, maybe there's an exposure to or an increased exposure to those rare earths being mined. Maybe that's the deal that's been done. We're left to speculate. That's why this is so hard. The flip side, I will say, by the way, on rare earths is if you're in that supply business, and with Linus Rare Earths here in Australia, a couple others besides, the benefit of these guys was we had the largest deposits effectively outside China, or the largest accessible deposits anyway. If that changes and you end up with more supply on world markets, it's actually a negative for prices. So there's so much in the geopolitics here and a lot in the supply and demand as well.
Hey, do you ever fly Ryanair in your travels, just on a different story,
actually,
Scott?
No, EasyJet, not Ryanair. Have you?
I think I've used it before, but it's quite an entertaining stoush that's taking place at the moment. The CEO of Ryanair and Elon Musk. Anyway, played that earlier. Run it again later. Scott, good to see you. We've got to go.